Hello, and thank you for joining me for Ask Gardener Lynn. Our question today comes from Denise, who lives in Zone 6. And her question is, can I transplant spinach? You know, this is a really great question. So the answer is yes and no. So spinach is very touchy about being transplanted, and if you use the right techniques at the right time, it can be done. Not all plants will survive, but you can usually get enough. I have done it successfully, and here are my 4 tips to transplanting spinach. Number 1 is timing. The first trick to successfully transplanting spinach is to move the plants before the first adult leaves grow bigger than a ½ inch. Plants that are mature and have lots of leaves will not transplant well and usually die. All right, number 2, lifting the plants. Very carefully lift the plants from under the roots, trying to get as much root as possible. Separate the plants and then replant as fast as you can back into the soil. Typically you have about 20 minutes before the roots start to die. Now if you need to hold the plants for over 20 minutes, just put a damp towel on them to help keep the roots alive. I like to plant 2 plants per hole. This way if one plant dies, the other plant may live. Survival rate on transplanted spinach is probably less than 50%. All right, number 3, water in the transplants within 20 minutes. You'll want to soak the soil enough to get the air pockets away from the roots. This is the most important watering to the success of the plant. If you're putting in a long row, use a water can to water as you go, and then when you're done, you can just use the garden hose to really get the ground wet. All right, number 4 is shade. Provide shade for the transplants for the next 3 days. So when you transplant the plants, some of the roots get damaged and the plant will die if it has to transport too much water to the top of the plant. You can help the plant by providing shade. I do this by putting on a shade cloth 40% or darker, or using a frost blanket to shade the transplants for the next 3 days. I'll put a link in the description below for you to find the proper shade cloth and frost blankets. Now if you have a garden question you would like answered, go ahead and send us an email. The address is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to learn how to grow $2,500 worth of organic produce in only 128 square feet with only a 15-minute a day commitment, then sign up for the High Performance Garden Show. It's free, it's online, and you can find it on our website, thelivingfarm.org/high-performance-garden-show, or I'll put a link in the description below.